Happy New Year's. Sorry about the lighting. It's coming from a fan. Maybe turn on one of the lights. This is my buddy's game room. You can see there's a lot of cool stuff. I probably shouldn't talk with a butterscotch candy in my mouth. So this one, December 16th. Wow, this shadow's nuts. I don't know. Spit that out. Ugh. Lighting's awful. Oh well. I'll just look a little weird for New Year's Eve. Counting down. God said, walk and talk, look towards Christmas. See what happens. I wrote 94 dreams. I feel like my math is wrong, or I think I combined a few of them because they were references to the previous dream. But it was like 94 dreams in a day. Like, dear Lord. How many dream points did we actually get? Oh, this video is going to be long. 68. 68. Or I guess 67 because I wrote down 94 dreams in one day. Ready? Happy New Year's, by the way. It's New Year's Eve. I thought this one, it was my dad, but it was me. I just forget that I'm older. And I think I'm a family man now, so I think I'm married and maybe living in my house now. So this would be Lindsey and I married. And remember, I want a disclaimer. I'm giving these dreams, like, it would be great. Like, with my whole heart, I would love to marry Lindsey. That is what I have seen in visions. But God has also said, like, if she doesn't want to, this is who will be next in line. So that's cool. And the words he said were, you will walk and talk with Lindsey, look towards Christmas. You will walk and talk with Lindsey, look towards Christmas. So I feel like once we hit New Year's Day at midnight, we're not in Christmas season anymore. But I have decided after going through this, I will just continue to have faith and see what sort of ending God provides to this epic story. Because it's been epic, it's been wonderful, it's been everything I ever dreamed of. And if it doesn't come true, I will be sad, I will be mad, I will be angry, and then I will move on because I have healed enough at work and enough of my dreams are coming true that it's worth provoking the future to be in a better place. Okay. I was in the front yard. There's like a screen door of the house. It was the same screen door that my grandma had at the back of her house. I think I feel like it's home. And then this small dog was chewing on a planter that looked like a ball. So I think to the dog, it looked like a ball. And for some reason, I wrote, there was a memory inside. It was like macaroons and the dog was eating them and the guy was mad. And I was like, why are you paying for things for the dog? It's not your dog, it's hers. And I was outside and I was concerned and the dog was just chewing on his ball and it made him really mad. And I kind of feel like he doesn't want me to record this. I remember saying that. It's so weird. He loses his temper and like takes it out on the small animal. But this is important because I've been praying for this celebrity and I feel that this big action showed him what he was doing was wrong. Because sometimes when you're lost in hatred and there's spiritual warfare, information can get convoluted. But if you take out your temper on a dog, which is much better than taking out your temper on a human, which is much better than taking your temper out on a child. So that would make sense. I remember a story of one guy. He was like a heavy drug addict. And one day he was riding a bike and ran over a lady's small dog and it died. And the lady just wailed and screamed. And it kind of broke through this like vagueness shroud of character where he went, oh, life can be really important. Like, that's just an arbitrary rule that we have on humanity. Now, it's not arbitrary if you believe in Christianity and you know God and his desires and philosophy, but so it woke him up and he quit drugs, and his parents were really surprised because he had been doing drugs a long time. He like went to the bathroom and locked the door, and the mom thought he was using again and was like crying, and he came out and he's like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I thought you were using it." He's like, "No, I just cut my hair." So anyways, it was clearly an issue. I wrote, "But don't fret, I'm good at bad things and dark times and helping through issues." So this is important to me because I'm the guy who wants to help the witches, help the gang members, help the prisoners, help the pedophiles. I want to help every single person who has an evil or wicked heart come towards God, because it's like somebody has to go out to the undesirables. I don't want to just let them die and fret. I want to fix reality. There's a lot of people who want to improve it. There's a lot of people who want to groom yards that require like a certain amount of work, and that's fine. That's great. Like, you know, you don't want to have to restart dilapidated houses and dilapidated yawns. That's like a lot of work, but that's the sort of thing I like to do. And I'm at a level now where I can kind of even manage teams to do it. You know, hey, we're going to do this big thing, then we're going to do that big thing, we're going to do that thing, I'm going to feed you, and you're going to go home. And if you get the right people, they're like, yeah, sure, you can feed us. Free lunch. Not coming out of our pay. All right, I don't mind yard work. Can I listen to my tunes? Yeah, as long until something goes wrong because you're not paying attention. Something goes wrong, you know, that's on you. No more tunes. All right, boss. All right. So then he's in the backyard and he's talking to his wife. So I think this is his home because I went through a screen door and a screen door. So I think from my family home to his. And he's talking to his wife. He's out there. He's super frustrated. And I go out there and I'm like, crap. Like, I go, hey, are you okay? Because then the cat goes by. And I felt kind of like a Matrix moment. And then he kicks the cat with the side of his foot. And the cat like isn't really hurt and moves. And I go like, I think he used to play soccer. Did he used to play soccer? So I think when I see him, which I probably will in real life, I can say, did you ever play soccer? And we can bond about that. Because I played 5 years of soccer in elementary school and junior high. And so then he says to his wife, which could have been like a sister. It was like a family home. I couldn't get anything from her body language. So it could have even been a friend. He goes, what is wrong with me? And I said, hey, maybe you need a break. I was going to ask if he needed me to pray for him, and maybe he's trying to cut that off, like this attitude problem. And his wife asked him, you know, hey, why don't we go out? So that's interesting. So I must have said that to him, and God let her hear me, because then she says that. So God is repairing their relationship. And he goes, who here thinks I can't take her out? So maybe he kind of heard it too. And I'm thinking, okay, this is obviously a voice he's listening to because I think that was me talking to his spirit. So the way he responds, either he's done enough drugs that he has an internal voice from the drugs, because a drug, when you do drugs, it acts like a best friend and creates an emotional safe space, and it becomes a doubled echo of your own thoughts. So the parts of you really like, you become really, really liking about it, and the parts of you really hate about it. And so even the way people look at you, if they look happy, they like really, really love you. And if they look angry, like, hey, what is your problem? And so that's the problem with drugs. And I was like, what is going on? And then there was a part about my friend, and I wrote, I think the spirits are trying to keep me from remembering this dream. So weird. So I think things are getting better with him because I haven't had him back in my thoughts, but I still pray about him almost every day. So this is great. Okay, next dream. I think my prayer is working because all of a sudden I see like a whole bunch of board games, like 10 of them stacked, like a cubicle shelf thing of where they are. I have my games at where I live with my buddy Dalton. And they're all kind of like olive green except for one that's bright blue, and also kind of reminds me of my job. So I don't know. So I think that's Lindsay's point of view. I think she's seeing all the board games. Yeah, and it would make sense because from that point of view, the point of view was lower. It was like the 5 foot range, not the 6 foot range. My only theory is that I want to say this, but I don't want to say this. Because the more you guys know, the more like you can work with Christianity, and the more I hide, the more you won't be prepared, but at the same time I have to respect people's privacy. I don't remember why I wrote this, but I wrote, I think Lindsey, so Lindsey, you'll notice in her concert, she talks about cages and maybe you're a cheetah. And then, so I saw 2 levels of cages she was in. Like a ceiling she couldn't get past was one parameter. And then she was locked in a cage, so she couldn't like emotionally express or get parts of her out because she was being trained to be a double level prophet. I don't know if it's a prophet or apostle or... Okay, that took a hot minute. I had to like clear up some space and upload things, and I'm working from a phone and a tablet, so it takes a minute. By the way, run number 3 of, oh dear Lord, 64. Wow. Anyways, I think there's a third depth to Lindsey, to where trauma needs to be handled and philosophy needs to be installed and taught. Because even though she's like one of the most joyous people I've ever known, if you don't have the philosophy, it's hard to unroot damage and trauma and irritation. If you have good trauma, I've actually healed people through a lot very quickly. Anyways, what else? So there's all these board games. I own a lot of board games. My roommate owns a lot of board games. And there's these shelves in the hallway that have a lot of board games. And when she's looking at it, they're all kind of olive green except for one that's bright blue. So I think one, we have her ideas and projects and the parts of her life and mind are starting to get compartmentalized correctly as she and I are like bridged together in a direction that's towards family and life, not just playing around. And I'm not accusing her of playing around, but it's something I've kind of witnessed to a lot of people where they'll say like, why am I depressed, or why is life not working, or why do I feel frustrated? And I'll say, well, romance is a big deal in the Bible, and if you're not focusing on marriage, or you're living in a way that contradicts the way spiritual life is designed to flow, you're gonna end up washing away a lot of your spiritual waters, a lot of your fuel, a lot of like your mana, like your mana pool, like the umph you use for life and working with heaven to keep life in the direction that you desire. So I think it's new life versus old life, and it's also like a new game that's to be played. Okay, so number 4. Oh, I said that one already. Let's see, number 5. Oh, I think my best friend became Christian because I see him opening a door and there's like a goldish light. Like, I don't think he's fully on board yet, but he's on board enough that he can do some fantastic things in the future. So that was encouraging because I've been praying that he becomes Christian so I can bring him on this adventure with me. I've successfully almost completely stopped with sugar, but it is New Year's Eve. I was saying the idea like what happened to him is equivalent to eating the nacho chip appetizer from Chili's, the queso skillet. Just broke. His seams are broken away and it seems okay. Oh yeah, so the celebrity I'm praying for, I kind of had this dream like he was eating my heart out, like he was being exposed to like good fleshly advice, emotional instinct, philosophical ponderings, and intellects. And so finally he's starting to eat like spirit food. Like I think we've got him praying, or at least in the right direction. So I'm going to keep praying for him. Let's see, number 7. I was kind of running my internal monologue, and then I saw that I was trying to loose it like a gas station. Like everything's kind of calm and quiet. It's like a gas station. So So at this moment, everyone's really refueling, and that's kind of fair. Everything is kind of quiet right now. I feel like he's seeing... Oh, maybe that was him. Maybe that was the celebrity. Like he's finally at a refueling place in his life. I feel like he's seeing me, and I'm put together with like pastel colors, and my emotional space is calm and collected. Like there's a little bit of turmoil, but not a lot. It's manageable. Number 9. Oh, this is not embarrassing, but I don't share a lot of like romancy bit, especially when this is all prophetic and like talking about someone as if we've, according to the dreams, have shared this life in the future together. And I hope she's not embarrassed if this ever comes out and her answer is no. I'm starting to get like kind of dreams of kissing Lindsey, except we aren't kissing yet. I haven't even talked yet. But that magnetic force of the kiss, of continual kissing, and I don't quite understand what I'm seeing. But I think maybe it's like she wants to kiss me too. I have seen that in certain content that came across that like highlighted. Sometimes social media content will come by and it'll like highlight in my discernment vision. I'll be like, oh, that's for me. I need to pay attention. And I'll be like, got it. I had a flat and not a flat. Like I had this dream that we were driving somewhere and I had a flat. So I need to either change my tires or take someone else's car. I had a quick dream, so I call these flash dreams. Sometimes I'll like fall asleep for a second. I'll get this load of information. Oh, I had this dream of me carrying her to the bedroom and putting her under a blanket. So I think maybe we're married by then, or we're moving towards that, or we're in a pausing moment of our life where we can kind of unload all of the burdens we've been carrying that we probably shouldn't be carrying. And yeah, she's eager for intimacy. I'm eager for intimacy and marriage, because I won't do anything more than kissing until I'm married. I have a lot of responsibilities in the kingdom of heaven, and that demands that I act like it. And what's funny is in the voice recording, I go, I feel like Ninja Turtles for some reason. I was like, what does that mean? A radical story, dude? I was like, okay. Number 10, I saw these 4 tins and they're connected by magnets, and there are 4 different colors of like a dark green, dark cream orange, and then like a maroon maybe green and purple. Usually that's the colors of the sky of heaven. I think that Lindsey is a form of a mom. Magnets stack nicely. So I think the different parts of our lives are coming together and getting in order, that are calling us to each other. Oh, things are finally stacking up. Okay, well, I've got, it's what, 5? So that's 7 hours to noon, so that's 19 hours to midnight. All right. What? Taken apart, the magnets were taken apart and put on the table. I think whoever I'm praying for is healing with his wife, and they're talking. Oh, so this might not actually be Lindsey. This might be the celebrity I'm praying for realigning himself and the different parts of his life. Also, if he has multiple personality disorder, they might be coming together. Okay, number 11. This one's weird. I see a length of organ. It was like intestinal tract. So I think like spiritual processing, like we're going to be connected in that way. And then I saw this light reflected off like adamantium. So I think it's an unbreakable bonded connection, right? Because adamantium is indestructible. So like our love and romance is indestructible. Then I'm seeing a flash. Flash is a quick dream where I fall asleep for a second and get a load of info. I see a house like right behind it. So I think our house is within 3 months of today, 3 months and 12 days. Or 12 days into the third month, January, February, March. So maybe 12 days into April. It's nice. It's like 2 stories, has a very house vibe to it. So after I give her gifts, we'll be living in our own house shortly after, within a few months, I'm guessing. Also, I hope it doesn't burn her out. Can you imagine not knowing who this guy is, this male suitor, and then finding out he has superpowers, wants to share them, and has 5 months worth of visions about your future? Okay, so let's see. August, well, part of August, September, October, November, December. It's like 4.5 months. Yeah, that's a lot. And now we're not even prophesying about our life now. We're prophesying about it 3 months from now and a half. Interesting. November, December. 4 plus 3 is 7, and 2 weeks is 12. So God's perfect number plus discipleship. Ow, I stubbed my toe. I had this dream where she was like Sid from Final Fantasy 15. And I think she's kind of like filling up my gas tank emotionally. And she's kind of like the woman of my fantasy, of my dreams. So that's a nice treat from heaven. Let's see. I'm seeing a disconnect. Pop your head off. Sound like a disconnect. But it looks like she's turning into a stained glass window. But it also seems like heaven's giving me like notes. Like, be happy she's has enthusiasm for marital life. Ha! I figured out a way to say it in a G rating. I am awesome. Okay. The maritalness fulfills her in a way she wasn't expecting. Like, it fulfills her emotionally, and then she gets emotionally calm, and she's never had it in such a pronounced way. Like Christian married life, where you guys like are driving the right direction and turning into each other, is impactful, and it just shuts down any animosity you have towards life, especially when you're on the same page. The color of the fuel was like a rich brown, which reminded me of soil. So good soil for good planting. That was good. I wonder if that's a comment on children. Huh. Like we're both healthy for having healthy kids. That's wonderful for heaven to tell us. Back to the celebrity I'm praying for. Figuring out that the point isn't to argue. The point is to like go and get ice cream. So I guess him and his wife are healing. I'm hoping he's praying. I sense a rich color for him, the celebrity. Oh, and then I see a plate of lasagna, and it has like 6, it's like a big tray, and it's like thick, and then it has like 6 big pieces, and he eats 5 of them. So he eats his heart out. And what I'm glad about is there's 1 piece left, which means he ate all he wanted and there was leftovers. Because if he ate all 6, we could assume he might still be hungry. And so also I'm learning, 1, that I'm really good at this, so I should keep going and try and scale up. And 2, a lot of people inappropriately taught me like, oh, you do you and I'll do me. Like Jesus works for you, and then what I do for me works for me. But with my discernment, I was always like, no, it doesn't. You're a moron. Like, you're all high anxiety, high depressed, erratic, and like, I'm calm and I don't freak out. And then a lot of people made fun of the super duper duper Christian girl I was dating in high school. Like, oh my God, this girl was like the stereotypical good girl Christian. And people made fun of her. I was like, yeah, but Sarah's never mean to me. She's never rude to me. She's never inappropriate to me. She's calm. She's smart. She's taking calculus. Like, and like she has rules. Like in high school, I'd push the rules a little bit, but she was like, nope, like kissing's up here only. And I was like, okay, because she was such a lady. I was like, sure. But if we're going to stay up here, I want to be able to kiss with you a lot. She's like, okay. Awesome. Yeah, she was great. She was one of the reasons I became such a dedicated Christian. The one time I was unfaithful, and it's not like I had sex, I just got touchy with someone else. I told her the next day. I was like, I have to tell her. Like, I can't hold this secret. I don't want her to find out from anyone else. She's too good of a person. And I told her, and she goes, I guess if God can forgive you, so can I. And I was like, that's it. That's it. Nothing else. No screaming, no anger, no upset, no spreading rumors, no crying. You're just going to forgive me. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm never cheating again. Like, because you just forgave me without no drama. No one's ever done that where they just like let it go. Like there's always anger and revenge and violence and cruelty and she was just like, I forgive you. And I was like, no. Never gonna do that again. I had a friend who was cheating on her boyfriend and she was like, what do I do? Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I hide? Should I tell him to do? And I was like, why don't you just tell him the truth? And she goes, oh, I didn't think about that. And then she told him the truth and he goes, I appreciate it. I think this isn't working and we should break up. And she's like, I'm sad we broke up, but dang. So yeah. Magnets. Organ adamantium. She looks like a stained glass window, so she's like, romantically, it's like dating a piece of art, like a stained glass portrait of herself. So real big compliments from heaven. And the colors were blue and like an earthy green, so we have some storge, some kinship. And then the earthy green would be like a soft and comforting version of agape, which is the God's eternal and everlasting love, like a sacrificial love, a bonding love. So that's good stuff. Good compliments from heaven and everything. Eating. Actually, I pushed a button and lost my place. I don't understand what I'm saying. Point number 15. But I feel good about it. Water, oil, refinery, a water thing, overwater. So I saw like this drum, and I think it held water, and I think it was also a water processing plant. So I think the celebrity I'm praying for is having his life force transformed into spirit life force. So I think he's finally opening up to Jesus. I certainly hope so. A tray of cupcakes. This one was weird. And then it moves over to their house and there's a connection. And they're eating them together and they sit down in this box and they're kind of rinkety. So they don't sit level, but at least they're unpacking things. Wasn't much in the house either, I think. Yeah, so I think the cupcakes are like treats. Like the rewards of his efforts are apparent, and him and his spouse or life partner or something is like working together and things are working out now. So I need to keep praying for him. So it looks, which is really good. For him to go from like this dark place to this good place so quickly is important. If you figure out who I'm talking about, I love you. Okay, spirit or personality. I think it's a spirit doing its job, looking like his personality or handling it. Tried to walk back at me. And I rejected it. Yeah. So I was like standing there and it was like trying to walk back towards me. And I was like, nope. No. I see you. Out. A flashlight or light, 18, is maybe an agent moving around a setup. So like I kind of saw my podcast. So the light of God is with me in this moment as I try to help him and work forward. That's a good, man, nothing but compliments. Jesus, this is great. 19, area that's supposed to be like tools. He uses tools maybe to this world's love. I don't know. Maybe I'm finally going to work on this full time. Like I have an office now, a workshop. I think they're just seeing me in the game room that I'm in now. So it looked, use my gifts, I grew some more, remember that? This is a deep dive role play game where you role play yourself as your most heroic. What did Bill say in the Quentin Tarantino movie Kill Bill? He said, this is me at my most masochistic. Well, this is me at my most heroic. So that's cool because that means one of the 5 places that I'm seeing is like right now. So we have the near future and we have like right this second, which is cool because it's almost New Year's. I can smell vinegar. It's so weird. And my heart's being turned over, which is good. And so what's weird is exactly as I was saying that, I've been eating butterscotch and drinking Pepsi, and the combo is making like a vinegar taste in my mouth. And so I was like, wow, this is like, we're like right on top of each other. So this is epic. I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope we get a really good ending because that is just insane. Like you guys are seeing real miracles. I still want to heal someone's missing hand. So you have like a smoking gun miracle, a miracle that's undeniable. Okay. "23. He's looking inside my heart and seeing different categories. This is interesting. It's not like, I'm not like this, like intimate with people. So this is like a spiritual intimacy. But if it helps with his healing, I'm okay. So like, I only want to have sex with my wife and sexual experiences with my wife because the more I operate as a Christian, the more superpowers I get, the more supernatural instances I get to be a part of, and the more fun my life is. Also, I'm from Hollywood. I've seen people that play the Playboy life. They're never as happy as I am day to day. So this is good. I'm glad I'm praying for him. I'm glad his life is going well. Number 24. As I'm trying to lift it up out, it was really heavy and they dropped it and it felt like chains. So they're dropping the chains at the same time, like he's feeling the weight of the content of my soul, or maybe this makes sense. Okay, so I think 2 things were happening. I think he felt the weight of this in his heart and he knew that this mattered. Like think about like a heavy book, like this book is important, this book matters, this content is great. So I think he's getting back into the Bible. And also the chains are falling off. So he has a practical weight that is hardy, and then he's losing the weight of the bondage as he dives and becomes a human, not a celebrity. 25. I saw something being put away for later. I was looking at like storage compartments and something was put away for our honeymoon because I see her wearing a kimono, and if I was asked where I'd want to spend my honeymoon, I would say a cruise ship so we can be uninterrupted, and then Japan would be awesome. And so I think she's getting a kimono from Japan and she looks awesome. 26. A special gift that I don't get to know about till later. That might be the gift that I saw. That's funny. So I see her giving me the gift and I saw me seeing the gift. So I know what the gift is. So that's kind of cool. I saw this shelf with stuff like a charger cord and air horns, 3 air horns. And I think there'll be a lot of laughing. $28, there's something trying to be hauled up against. Hold to my eyes. I have delightful, charismatic instincts romantically. We'll say that. I thought it was weird. It was like a movie. China has broke down and admitted it wasn't theirs, and there's a guy who broke his exhausted, and there's another guy like an interrogator, and he holds up a small weapon like a pistol maybe, and it's a pistol to the guy. The interviewee's head for a second confirmed that he's indeed probably broke, and it's very weird. I've seen their box, like the one all my letters are in. I feel for... Okay, so... This is weird. So China has broke down and admitted it's not theirs. So I'm probably getting information about world news halfway through my honeymoon, so I know I have responsibilities when I come out. So I need to make sure I'm praying about that, or situations will escalate. I think Lindsey's seen the box I have with all the letters in it, saying like who I want to give prophetic gifts to that I've talked about on the channel. And I think that's also her getting information that I need to start contacting these people and giving them the prophetic gifts and then working in ministry with all of them and moving forward. She definitely has an engine that is ready to go. Okay, this is weird. It was like, it looks like a flower, and then it looked like Wolverine, and he had one set of claws out. Something that won't rain. Then if you're not, oh, sorry. And this one was really weird. I heard something Wolverine. If it's not Wolverine, then don't do it. This piece of ore that's a part of me that's attached. So there's a certain anger because we're like 20-something hours till I can't say it's Christmas anymore. And so there's a part of me that's like really angry about that. But I'm saying in my dream, like, if it's not that, be calm. Like, the moment it's not that, be calm. If it's not the end of the world, be calm. And then you will have your happily ever after. You will walk and talk and intertwine yourself romantically. 28, I should start a new video file. Okay, spirits really don't want me doing this. I have to go back. And this is gonna happen a lot when you try to do ministry stuff. Like, things will suddenly crash and you'll be like, I feel like the supernatural is trying to keep me away. And the answer is yes. And now I need to buy a laptop. Okay, so I think this is actually Scott Divine, Scott Divine 14 on YouTube. I've been praying that we work together. There's this vibe about him that I think he'd work in ministry, and I think I can heal a lot of his autoimmune issues. So I saw this guy with orange hair and glasses. I remembered that skinny kid who's married to the Filipino girl. And then he looked at me for a second. So maybe I'm going to heal in the future and give him gifts, because I feel like he was coming back, his spirit was, and looking at me and considering me. So, wow, I missed 2 of them. 21. So demons are trying to push, and I see, what is it? It's like a folder, like a brown folder, and you open it. So it's like one of those folders that like accordions open, and you like put files in it and close it. So I don't know, maybe I'm starting to like finally come into my business, because I want to start this ministry that generates revenue so we can do things instead of ask for money to do things. The smelling vinegar. Chains. China. Wolverine. Okay, I saw someone like Leonard from Big Bang Theory, and he was holding this dork. Like this, you know those rubber chickens that like when you squeeze them, they make the noise? He was holding a rubber chicken. And then, so it's a celebrity again. So his eyes turned black. And you have to remember, so black is my favorite color. And I used to think that I was evil or satanic, but it turned out I finally was like, God, you got to tell me what's going on. It's just mystery. And I hold on to light like a black hole. So like when I went to heaven, one of the times I got to go, it was just like eating light with my eye until my eye finally fulfilled with it and I could like see it. So my eyes came through the celebrities, and then he had the rubber chicken. And so I was grabbing the situation. I was like, demons don't have a place here. No, don't move. So the demons are being rebuked by the authority I bring. And then I wrote, when you're doing in spiritual warfare, you pray. You pray to God. You pray to God. I rebuke everything demonic over this celebrity. I pray for his healing. I pray for his self-control. I pray for his misery. I pray for you to work with him. I pray for you to bring it up. And then sometimes I'll feel something, like I'll pray for the demons and I'll feel like a hand crushing. And I'm like, oh, okay, I keep praying for the demons and praying they don't get to crush him and praying against it and praying against it. And then you'll feel the hand like relax and try to crush. And so I'll pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. Because I like to win and you don't want to leave things half done. And then you'll feel the hand like break away. You're like, all right, cool. I pray for his mind. I pray for his relationship. Ooh, I'll feel some push. I pray for his relationship. Pray that people are patient. Pray that he's patient. Pray it goes. Pray for healing. Pray for drug use. Ooh, I feel static. I pray for drug use. I pray for thought control. I pray for help. I pray for good friends. I pray for love. I pray for laughter. I pray for turning over. And then eventually everything I can think about, if I don't feel anything coming back, I'm like, all right. And then the next day I'll be like, hey, I pray everything's okay. And then I feel it if it's not. And then if I get a dream, I'll work from there. But I want to tell you, it's not about channeling energy. It's not about calling the spirits. It's not about rubbing the crystals together. It's not about talking to angels or talking to demons. You pray to God. You can rebuke the demonic. You can pray for blessings. We don't channel and summon and do weird witchcrafty things. The power of communication and miracles are the ultimate power in the universe. God spoke. His spirit declared. Communication is the activation of your soul. It is honest communication, and you do it with heaven by doing it to God. You talk to God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. If angels come up to talk to you, talk to them, but we don't summon angels or talk to angels. We don't call for Gabriel. God, send us an angel. If you can, send me Gabriel, but we talk to God. And you don't have to take my word for it, but be wise in all things. And it's smart to let God critique you so you don't end up doing really dumb stuff and leading people to their own destruction. And that's what happens when we are foolish. So beware the foolish in yourself and others as much as you beware the danger and the idiocy. I think Lindsey has pet names for me, and that's kind of awesome. 34. I remember the scene from Back to the Future. Marty comes back and hops the fence, and it's like it's not his house anymore. And his dad comes in. The dad of the girl whose room he jumps into has a shotgun. I think she sees me entering her headspace, and I'm dangerous in like a Phantom of the Opera sort of way. Mighty and unique and kind of like an intruder, but I don't know. This could be so many things. Marty McFly. So coming back from the future. Entering someone's house. I want to kill him, but no, I think this is a celebrity. Unless I'm appearing like Phantom of the Opera and it's spooky. I don't know. I think she might be starting to know the secret parts about me, like my gifts and how they work. Kind of mysterious and how dangerous confrontation can be. We're about 8 months from now. So I think she's probably got my gift of discernment by then, and she's like seeing things and how they work. I opened up a gift and it was like these chords, these lines, like, and then I wrote, it reminds me of like a mop, but not delicate. Like all these strands really thin. Even heaven helping, and they're pure white. Inside this plastic shopping bag. Buying her soul or me sort of thing. It's really interesting. Oh, what if I reverse that? What if that's cords coming together and the shopping bag might have like a pregnancy test? Maybe. I think someone tried to think the spirit, tried to get past another spirit. Oh yeah. So the spirit was coming at me and it was like, hey, and then like this cop comes and goes, boof, and just tackles them. And I was like, dang. Because remember, I've been acknowledged as a minister, so I have a special policeman guardian angel. I think I've seen him too. And I have a special fireman guardian angel. I think I saw them too. And then I have a special, it's so good. I have a special gardening guardian angel, and that was a good joke. So I got 3. So he gets tackled, and I was like, oh man, my guardian, my special appointed angels for my protection within ministry, because I've seen my guardian angels as a person, and they're really cool too. One's blonde and one's a redhead. Gift she got me. That I'm moving past. I saw a bell go ding dong ding. Oh, and I saw my friend from work, Marissa, and she turned around and went back to work. And she's like on a different side now, which I think means she's accepted Jesus, which means I think she's seen videos of me doing cool stuff. And I remember her legs were like really mighty. And then, so this is interesting. And then I glanced at her butt and I was like, why am I glancing at her butt? It's a butt. Okay. So I was thinking and putting everything together with my discernment and knowledge. And I was going, okay, why would I be looking at her legs? Why are they buff? Like really like big, like the muscle mass was like 3 times the size. I was like, okay. And I was looking at her butt. If Jesus was going to talk to her, he would show her how now she's like her favorite character, Mew from Pokemon. And Mew had really big legs and a tail. Oh, okay, so there it is. Big legs like Mew. And I was like, and then I go, and then the next thing I would have done is looked for her tail. And then in my dream, I was looking at her butt. And I was like, oh, because right now I'm looking for her tail. So I'm not looking at her butt. I'm looking at her tail and considering it. And so that's kind of another moment where my dream and real life are on this at the same moment right now. So this is actual miracles. It's not somebody having their hand healed, but stuff still matters. Okay. Oh, so this one was cool because this one happened 2 weeks ago. One of my best friends at work says, have I ever made you mad? And here in my dream, I mentioned it a couple of days before it happened. And so that's really good because that means all the, like, everything's kind of closing in. Like the prophecy's here and time is closing in around me, which is awesome because it's 5:30. So 18 and a half hours till midnight. And then Lindsey's thinking about marriage and romance. A very gentle G-rated name she has for me. It's like a... Okay, so then there was a jar with a lid, and there's some air in it. It was really tightly sealed. And then there was a deep sigh of relief. So I think that's more wedding night stuff. I saw someone that looked like her. Looked like my sister. Looks like they become good friends. Looks like my sister's involved in the wedding. Looks like my sister's in good headspace for the wedding. This one was interesting. So it was a South Park scene, and they're doing the Harley scene where they go... I don't want to say that on my podcast. It's a scene where they go like, you can't say this word. Well, do you drive a loud Harley around when people are trying to enjoy? Well, then you've got mail. I think, let me make sure I got this one right. So I think this is stuff I'm going to start doing in the future because I saw Heaven kind of affirm this. There's a lot of, I wrote it really well. There's a lot of sexual hatred in America. I think the fear and pain in the homosexual community is odd with the expected cultural constraints of modern America. And both groups of good-hearted, morality-aligned people who wish a better America need to bring God into their lives. The right, like the conservatives and the Christians, need better alignment for their actions to have the best payoff. The liberal left need to check against reality to make sure their desires and actions are working together and not setting on fire their future friends who love and protect them and their future family members who want to love and protect them as well. The Bible says, so the golden rule is treat people like you want to be treated, but that comes from the Bible that says, love your enemy as yourself. But the love, there's 3 types of love the Bible uses. Philia, friendship. Storge, kinship. Agape, God's unending, eternal, consistent, positive love for you. So it goes unconditionally and eternally love your neighbor as you unconditionally and eternally love yourself. Did you hear that second part, ladies? This is where the majority of your self-esteem issues comes from this. The 2 big commandments of the Bible are love God with everything you've got and love your neighbor as yourself. The second part is what? Unconditionally, eternally love yourself. How many of you aren't doing that? You've got guilt, grit, spite, anger, animosity. You're not forgiving and forgetting, and you're not unconditionally loving yourself as you unconditionally love others. You give it all to love others and you expect it to come back. No. That is inappropriate philosophy and lifestyle. We unconditionally love ourselves. If you're not unconditionally loving yourself, you forgive yourself. God gets to judge you, not you, not your parents. Now, there is discipline, there's judgment, but you don't get to hold on to guilt because we are pathetic at that. And that is not Christian. I've spoken. Okay. 44. So many more. Picking up Legos, it sort of looks like my friend Andrew, who I used to know when I worked at Blizzard. But he looks more like the Stargate guy from, not Stargate, from the Disney animated movie Atlantis. They pretty much copy this scene from the movie Stargate. So from Atlantis. So I think he became Christian now because he's more animated. He's not just like an intellectual, which is how you'd see the scene and the guy from Stargate, because they're very much similar. So I think I've healed his brother. His brother's a little bit mentally slow, not by much. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to get a laptop. So my friend is appearing not just like a scientist, but an animated, colorful one. So I think he's become Christian. I think he believes in me. He has a brother who's just a little bit mentally slow. And one thing I learned in the Bible is you can heal that. Because like death and suffering are not native to earth. They were added after we ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or as I like to call it, the tree of death. And so I'm trying to get my gift of healing to the point where I can heal that. And it looks like I pulled it off in the future. Matthew 12:22. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed them insomuch that the blind and dumb both spoke and saw. So I'm going to try, because I definitely believe this. And even if you can't heal that, I can probably bless him with intellect, etc., etc. So we are trying. 45. I wrote, it's weird. I'm like laying down, falling asleep, and I'm looking at the wall underneath the Back to the Future poster, and all of a sudden it lit up with a light. And then I wrote, I don't know, Chuck's coming. And what did it turn out that name meant? Oh, sorry guys.
Williams, a 33-year-old
oh my God,
mother of
no,
a 2-year-old daughter,
don't.
a wife, a Christian who has put her own
Damn
life
it.
in line trying to protect.
What does the name Charles mean? Free man. There we go. And so that made sense that I would be labeled as free man. I kid you not, if that thing closed again, I have to go back. Ugh. You go off one app and you have to suddenly like go back to where you were in the document. I think I was at 45. Okay, so free man, and that makes sense because I'm very anti-bondage. And in my dreams, Lindsay's called me different names. She called me, I forget what Andrew meant. I don't know what it meant, but I remember Douglas means deep thought. And that definitely felt like me. I built this cool arrangement of Christmas lights in my room, so I wouldn't be surprised that she sees them reflecting off my Back to the Future poster. And I looked up oh my God, it's right there. I looked up the name Charles and it means free man. Yeah, I'm definitely free from, and that would mean I'm done with my own. So remember what I said, all major world leaders get separated from reality. So my spiritual prisons were called poverty and problems, which is fine. I've learned how to solve problems, how to work through, how to work with people, and that's a quality you want in a leader. And then poverty, a prophet told me, the Lord lets you experience poverty because you get very good at resource management. what would I say Lindsay's is if I really look with my discernment? There's a bit of a misery, so she learns, so her joy spikes. And then the other one's for maturity, which is not me calling her immature. I mean, she'll be able to handle the misery of others, which would make sense as somebody who pays medical bills and will probably be super epic when she gets a gift of healing. I imagine it'll be like fire leaping from her heart. 46. I'm looking up in a tree and I look through something to see it. So I think it's me and Lindsay's spiritual destination. I saw someone put their hand through a glove onto something and it looked like Mickey Mouse, like the spirit of Mickey Mouse. Like I had the spirit of Mickey Mouse inside of me. And I kind of do. I was talking to Heaven about the Walt Disney Company, and I was like, and long story short, I have the gifts of Walt Disney, so I'm going to use them to make epic children content, so it doesn't surprise me that I saw this. Not the spirit of Walt Disney, I have the gifts of Walt Disney. Like, he's in heaven, and now I'm going to use them and further his ambitions. Oh, and so in this dream, so when I was a kid, there was this angry ape in the dream, and it was always really mad, and I was always really confused. I'm like, let's play baseball. It was very mad. And what I didn't understand is, so when I got the gift of discernment, I kind of woke up as an adult at 5. And so ever since I was a child, I had the dream to get married and also do married things. And so here, that ape isn't an ape anymore. Where did I write it? Yeah, so I guess the ape is gone. It's just like the Mickey Mouse is left, like the playfulness is left and the animosity for not connecting with women. Because a prophet pastor told me, and this really sucked when I finally figured it out, I didn't have to wait so long to get married. That was never something God called for me. It was a mistake I made based on something my mother told me. She impressed it upon me, and I thought that was something heaven wanted. But God had other plans, and it would have made more sense for me to do it that way, but like, this is the way things work sometimes. Blah, blah, blah. No, blah, blah. Yeah, I've learned a lot. Yeah, and okay, 47. Now I'm seeing the screen at work from my coworker, one of my friends at work, Marissa's point of view, where she normally stands. I can see my screen, so I definitely think I've given her gifts of the spirit because she can look through and see my work. So that's really cool, and that would make sense after the Mew thing that now she's getting the gifts, and that's great because I really do have a heart for this woman, like a kinship, like not like romantically. She's dating someone. I really hope it works out. I saw her in a wedding dress, which made me excited because she said I would definitely be invited. And I think she said I'd be in her bridal party, which would just be cool. I won't wear a dress, but I'd wear a pink suit. Okay, making future date plans that end playfully. I said it G-rated. I was remembering a thing from college where I got in line early to get a locker. I did that because when you have art classes, they have these big lockers and you want a locker or you want to share one because, oh my God, lugging these like giant toolboxes full of art stuff and your canvases. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's so many times you'll see girls lugging all this stuff. You need help? Yes, please. You know, like, I'm gonna dry my stuff down there. So I'm in line to get a locker, like a bigger compartment for my stuff. So this is me trying to upgrade and start the ministry business side. Then I remember that there's a pretty girl that me and the older piece, so the playful version of me and the like focused version of me are into. And elder version of me kind of sits back, and the playful version of me goes forward and speaks. I think that'll be when I meet her soon. I think the grown up in me gets to finally relax, and the little boy that hung on so long gets to be like, "Hi, I'm Josh. How are you?" So that would be maybe this coming evening. I have no idea how this is going to play out. But I've decided if nothing happens, I'm just going to spend my time doing a lot of prayer and probably a lot of art too. Probably try and catch up on my dreams first. Stained glass window. I saw these two trees on the horizon under like a cream color sunset, so I'm seeing the final destination of me and Lindsey. It became a stained glass window, so I might turn that into a memory, but it's epic and important and divinely inspired. Okay, 51. This weird little spaceship sci-fi head, something that might belong to the face of a Gundam. I think this is what the process looks like to Lindsey. I think she sees like this Jesus power force, and when Jesus and I were talking about how to do the ministry, he's like, everyone needs to know me, but I don't just do what God says. I like what I've learned in the Bible is true prophetic people, true leaders will question it, not disobediently. Like when God said, care about abortion, I said, no. And he said, care about abortion, I said, no. He said, care about abortion, I said, I'm not a girl. No. Now I'm not saying no. We're having a conversation. I'm saying no. And then he goes, I really want you to care about abortion. I go, okay, fine, but you have to put it on my heart, and then I'll care about abortion. And so then this video came up on my feed, and it highlighted in my mind, so I knew it was for me. And it was this mommy dog getting a sonogram, and I saw the 8 puppies in her belly, and I was like, oh my heart, the pain, it's so beautiful. Okay, I care about abortion now. Oh my God, it was so beautiful and so great and so loving that like my heart almost burst. I was like, that is too much love. So Jesus is like, they need to know me. And I said, no, they need to know me. You're half God and who became full God. Like, how are you? You are a reasonable expectation of humanity, but I need people to see what a normal human can do who is not you. And Jesus said, well, I think they need to know me. And I said, I think they need to know you too, but they need to know me. And I'm going to point to you because I am a normal human and you are ish. And he goes, well, I think they should know me. And I said, I think they should do, but like, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know that I want to do that. What you got? And he goes, what if I'm your secret identity? Like, what? Okay, so like superheroes have their secret identity, like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and we're all possessed by the power of Jesus. And that's through Jesus we do all these miracles and all this charismatic moment. Because I'm still the Paladin Knight. Let's make that clear. / kind of Superman-y. And he goes, yeah, exactly. And so every now and then I'll be like, show me what you look like underneath the mask. And then he shows me. And it's like this glass face with like brilliant beacons of beautiful red, green, and blue light shining through it. I'm just like, ah. I also kind of looked like my piggy bank as a child, which would make sense. You store secrets and gems and treasures. Anyways. So I think she's starting to see that because she's getting my level of gifts. Normally I start people off small, but she's going to get... I remember I was at work and I had this waking vision where I was laying down next to her And she went, Josh? And then I vanished like the Cyberpunk Matrix screen. And then she was like this little speck, this little person that was like curled up into a ball in this void that was like just big between my head and my hand. And she was like, big. And she was just like, felt the overwhelming amount of like space. And then God's going to fill that space, or God's going to show her how that space is the might of the spiritual gifts that I've cultivated. Because when you have your gifts, you can cultivate them, and you can share them or pass them on. Yada, yada, yada. So I think she's in for a real... I think she'll understand why she suffered so much, because God wants to train us. And I have to tell this to Rebecca all the time. Why does this suck? Why am I miserable? Because your future version of yourself wants to be. Your future version of yourself is so okay with the gifts and everything you've been given that it was okay signing off on the misery you're having now. And I believe this is always true, even if you're paralyzed, I say gently. I think if we can bring the gifts to people who have gotten through super duper misery like paralyzation, once they come out of it, they will have a depth of character so volcanic, humanity will have to get out of their way. But we have to assist in the getting them to the destination where they can become all that they are to become. And that's not to say they can't work in infinite ways now. If I was paralyzed, I would probably just pray nonstop and then watch miracles happen. This, of course, is an unfair statement because I have a very fit body and I haven't known that, and I do not want to. Oh, please, heaven, do not make me have to empathize with people who've been paralyzed. I don't want that journey. However, I want to bring healing to paralyzed people, and then if I can bring the misery that they've suffered through to the kingdom of God so they can bathe in a pool of the gifts heaven will rain upon them, and probably would have been raining upon them had they thought to bother heaven for gifts and things they can do via prayer while being paralyzed. So this isn't an entirely fair thing to talk about or to say, but I don't like to leave problems unturned just because we are sheepish and it might seem inappropriate, because I believe if you're paralyzed, you don't care how I come about you to heal you, you want to be healed. So, much to do. This is why I have people ready. Now I just need to get funding and continue working. If Lindsey does or doesn't show up, I'm definitely going to start trying to heal people so I can raise money, so I can send my people out to heal people. Ugh. Yada, 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 yada. "52. I heard, we're chimps, not monkeys." And some of that was like some great skin, holy radiance of life glowing, and I'm eating something and I have long nails and there's a lot of blue. What? I don't know whose eyes I'm looking through. I don't know who that is. Blue? Holy radiance with life glowing, and I'm eating something and I have long nails, but there's a lot of blue. Possessed by a lot of joy? Oh, maybe the spiritual gift has finished possessing Lindsey, so there's a lot of blue. Because I've always associated joy with blue, and joy is my major character trait. A lot of people are about love. I'm all about joy, which is called chara in Greek. I was thinking about this actor. I was watching this. I had this favorite entertainer, and he was on Gordon Ramsay's show, and he looked really happy, and I was like, no. And I looked it up and it was like, divorce. And I was like, did you leave your wife because you got famous and rich? Come on, man. You were my hero. Anyways, and then someone's shouting, and it's like I'm shouting inside of her head and I'm hearing it maybe. So maybe someone cheated that was her hero. And then I'm shouting in her head like, Oh, maybe she's worried that she'll get cheated on again. But someone's shouting at her like, hey, don't be vain. I know a lot of guys like to cheat. I would just break up. I'd just be like, hey, I don't want to date you anymore. Like, why string along a poor girl? Okay, 54. I saw Lindsey trying on this purple dress and like she couldn't fit into it anymore, and that's because she was pregnant. I think she was like 4 months pregnant. I hope she doesn't get mad at how much I'm sharing, but that's only assuming this comes true, which would be awesome. But it's 6 o'clock, so we're at 18 hours till midnight. My buddy wanted a second child before he got a vasectomy. And so him and his wife took a trip to Europe, and they're visiting London, and he was like, you know what, let's make a baby here. And they named him Arthur, which is just wonderful. And I was like, dude, that is just the best. And I was like, I don't want to make a kid in the backseat of a car or on the floor or on our bedroom bed. It's like, if we're going to make a kid, let's go on like a super date. Let's go somewhere for 3 days, 2 nights, wear some nice clothes, and bring our child into the world in a spectacular firework of moment. And so I think she saved the dress, and she was wearing it, and the dress didn't fit her anymore because she was pregnant, and she was very happy. And it's interesting because she's not mopey or miserable. She's like delighted. I don't think I'd be worried about that, but it was very nice to know. She wasn't like, oh my God. She was just like so happy. Like a Disney princess. I can actually see her now. I can see the elation. Huh. So drawer open. It's like a set of drawers, and inside there was like sparklers, 8 boxes of them. So that's Jubilee. That's like forgiveness and moving on. Fireworks in a Baka drawer. In the back of the drawer was a Cyclops figurine. So that'd be me, fireworks, and sparklers. Do we make the kid on a 4th of July? Yeah, that'd follow. Because it'd be the second kid, because we adopt the first one. Okay, sure. I'm down. Older man. Swing a little bit. Painting on the back of an easel. Oh, I think so. I have a art studio in our backyard. Because I was like, why is shack? It's like a tiny house. Like, no, it's an art studio. Because our art rooms have to be like well aerated. You need a metal locker so they kind of hold fires in, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You want to be able to play loud music. I heard somebody say 70 cents, then it's free. It's free. It's free. No idea what that means. 70? So that's God's perfect number and the number of process? 70 cents? 70 cents? I saw an ape holding a picture, and the ape had become part of the picture. Bidding for my art pieces, maybe? And it's free? Maybe a project? Maybe after we bid on the painting, you can download a picture of it? Like a wallpaper, and then it's free for everyone? But I won't put it out until then? I don't know. So my playfulness is part of my art? $59. This can of compressed air. with this like long needle, but it was like a thick needle if you wanted to like pierce a tire. And then it was pushed into the spot of the wall or something on the pullback, and there was a release of air, so maybe tension. I think that's marital night tension to, you know, rush to the point of things, perhaps. The inside of Lindsey's matrix is like joy. I don't know, just having this dream while I'm not awake and not asleep. I'm just holding her, and I go, she's mine, and I guess the kind of way of like covet my wife is making her inner matrix complete, because I see rainbows and pink and stuff. And it has this frozen firework way of looking the same way my Wolverine did. And hers is quite beautiful. I remember being like half Wolverine. And interesting private areas of our souls. This feels like right now. Okay. So that might be something happening soon. Like a couple hours. I'm agitated and on guard, which is how I feel right now. I don't know if this is going to come true or not, but I'm hoping, which is right now. My faith is complete, but I'm not a fool, which is definitely right now. We'll see what happens, and I'll remain upwards and like erect, like tall, good posture. We'll see what happens, and I'll remain, till you guys get tired of me and this story becomes a bore. So no matter what, I'm going to keep going through my dreams. We'll see what happens. I'm not upset that I'm taking the chances I am. I wrote 61. Lindsey must be thinking about me because I want to eat of her spirit and drink of her spirit so bad. I feel like she became like she knows this, like she's like understands this. Yeah, obviously I'm capable of deep spiritual connections, and I want that, and I want a life partner. Okay, so 62. There's a guy who flew in before me. He's kind of disgruntled and has no way, and he's kind of disgruntled and has to get out of the way for the next guy to come, or he's going to get out of the way for the next guy to come, but there's not much we know about him. And I think he's maybe someone she dated, and he's trying to like slowly win her over, and I don't think it's working. And I got the feeling he was frustrated and he didn't want to move. But I think Heaven's kind of like, hey, your time's up. It's time to go. Like, it's not working. You're trying, but it's not working. She's not even really noticing you. I think, like I've mentioned before, Lindsey proclaimed that she heard a voice. I also prayed once that if she did hear a voice, like it was Phantom of the Opera, could she show up in a video as dressing like the Phantom of the Opera, and she did. So there's something real happening here. Whether or not it has the ending I want is what we're waiting to see. But then even in the video where she said, I just knew I would meet my other half, my true love, by Christmas. And then she started to weep a little bit. She knows, I know I'm enough. And I'm like, that's the Holy Spirit feeding you umph, but not telling you to stop chasing your dreams. Okay. Oh my God, pressure in my head is building. I wonder what's going on. 64, the last one. We made it. Oh my God, like an hour and a half. And I'm only on December 18th. Oh man, I think it's 18th. I'd have to scroll up and look. What's that? It was like those pop figurines, a little black boy together the size of a pop, almost bigger. Took them across country going somewhere. There was camels and Indian women to a theater. I had a bunch of popcorn in the first theater. I'd eaten before the movie started, and I just chucked it. And then I went to another theater, I don't know why, then across the street. Then we checked the showtime. There's a guy that's calling 5 lights. I talked about the 5 lights before. The 5 lights back. Playing in a different direction. So we're moving in a different direction now. Are we moving forward now? Are we moving up now? Are we moving on now? Okay. I wrote, okay, this is scary. Cool. As I was listening to my recording, there was a dead space, and I go, I wonder if heaven is showing me 5 different time frames. We talked about this one already, right? Did I put it down twice? Because heaven's, my wife and marriage, big picture, near future, what to expect, sort of thing. So this is what I was thinking in my dream recording, and I say I'm looking up at the ceiling, so thinking, and I see there what looks like 5 lights, and I was thinking that it's like these are 5 spherical green balls in my mind, imagination. They're connected by a gummy rope string. Went to the right, we were looking at one point, there was an Animal Crossing. My sister wanted to see it afterwards. I played some Animal Crossing. So played house, and I went to find him sitting there. I remember putting my finger backwards, putting my thumb on someone's foot, and I wouldn't let go. And they had to shake it 3 times to get me to let go. And then my mom rolled down 2 steps. So I think there's something demonic moving. They're trying to make drama at my wedding. Like if they can't get to me, they'll try to get to, I don't know if it was my mom or someone's mom or my sister, but something. But I didn't see Lindsey show up. So I think I told someone, if someone rolls down, you go take care of it. Lindsey, she's not going to die. You leave it alone, because it's just spirits trying to mess with everything. All right. I love you guys. That was so long. Was that December 16th? What, did I write down 17 also? Oh no, I started to do 17. That's what happened. And I had to split them apart because I realized I was moving on to a new day. God, 64 bullet points. This part of it's just 30 minutes. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to put this together. Happy New Year. We'll see what happens.